Hey guys and gals on YouTube, how y'all doing? Dave Boyd here, and hey, talking about the past, like this pipe is before World War II. No idea who it belonged to or what they were like. Came from Bayou Village, actually. Anyways, thrift store. There's a great video of some more in the silver community talking about clean out. Now that's something I had done once a long time ago. And I read the comments, and man, people are just angry. It's like I once commented that a woman in front of me had taken a full roll of American Eagles, which should go for $750, $800. You know, it's $20 piece, but face value, but it's ounce of silver. Anyways, in the pawn shop, you know, argued with her, told they could only give her $1 a piece, so she sold them for $20 a roll, like 3 rolls or 4 rolls. That happens. Local thrift store. You have no idea where I'm pointing, but I'm pointing about 90 miles that way. They had a $20 St. Gaudens gold piece sold for $1. It was slabbed. I have no idea why it went for that price. They just said, well, they thought it was a token. That actually made the local paper. Very embarrassing for the store. I'm very careful what I'm going to say next, because the comments, some people made comments like, if my children sold my things, I would come back and haunt them. Wow. Very angry, very furious. And it kind of makes sense. You know, look beyond those angry words and look at the things we love in this community, which is Lego. We wouldn't have bought them, we wouldn't hoard them, we wouldn't collect them, whatever, unless we wanted them. But what happens afterwards? That's something you really have no control over. And no one wants to think about collectibles being thrown in a landfill or whatever. And, you know, we're just destroyed. Beautiful boxes that you never wanted to open because you want to preserve the past, and someone just tearing them up or just throwing them away. Gold, silver, precious metals, watches that the rest of us can't afford being thrown into a landfill. And you probably said, David, what can be done about it? Well, not a whole lot. But there is a planned attack we can do, especially with the community that we have on the internet. Education. Now, this will make things for resellers like myself actually harder, but that's okay. I think it'll all work out. Spread the word. Collectibles. Try to get the things in the hands of people who appreciate it. Now, sometimes people are hoarders and they die. And there is just amazing amount of junk in there. I helped out a family once, and it took me years to get through. Part of it is because I don't just pull up a dumpster and throw it all away. I went through it, which is what they wanted me to do. They offered to pay me, and I said, no, I'm just helping you out. I regretted that word very much so later. I said, what a fool you are, David. You're an idiot. You should have charged him by the hour. Absolutely. But that's not how I roll. But still, I felt pretty stupid. I actually managed to beg one of my coworkers to help me out with it for some, room temperature beer and leftover pizza. Room temperature because there's no working appliances in the place. We didn't have electricity, so room temperature, Pabst Blue Ribbon. I'm a terrible friend. Anyways, so educate people. Now, in this community, we can share things, we can talk about things, and I do understand the privacy thing. We don't really know who you're dealing with, but what if someone who's big in Lego, when they pass, someone can announce it and give a chance for the rest of us in the community to try to save that collection? There's an idea. Your children, your friends, your offspring, whatever, let them know. Hopefully they can become part of the collection. Make it encouraging to them. Maybe not. It may or may not take. And then there's the third part, the one that I'm kind of hesitant to talk about. I'm a reseller. And what I mean by that is I buy and go through people's stuff. Okay? I go through it. I resell it. And the only reason I'm okay with it is I go, at least it'll go to someone who's going to pay money for it. Someone who wants it. Their collection, their love can live on. I think they would want that, rather than going to a landfill or just being broken. And where it goes back to, talk about something a little bit personal. My daddy was a knife collector, custom knife maker. He had a collection of just antique case knives, well over 600 pieces. And his final wishes to me, because his passing came rather suddenly, but years before he had told me he didn't want someone digging through his stuff. And I said, well, I'll probably have kids by then or something. And he just shook his head sadly and said, I don't want things to fall into the wrong hands. So what do you mean? He said, I want you to sell to the highest bidder. liquidate my dad's collections. It's hard. So now, my other channel, I may pull out a pew pew or an antique knife, and I think about my dad smoked his pipe and me sitting on his knee and that object, that item there. So that's why I like to get old Lego sets, put them together and resell them, let them go back to people, save them from the dump, save them from the garbage, all stuck in bacon grease and other nasty things. And I decided that's probably the best way to go. Because if people are paying me high money for these sets, they're going to appreciate them. Give them a second chance, another life. It's kind of funny. Not really funny, but a little bit funny. I got this one of the old big wheel sets. It's a Lego set. Back when Lego was goofy and they used one of those big wheels for a steering wheel. It looks kind of strange. Anyways, my Laurie was looking at one and she noted it had teeth marks, some of the bricks, which is fine. And she said, makes her sad. The set is from like 1961. So a lifetime ago. And she said, how small was a child to make teeth marks? And where are they now? Anyways, that set, it took a tough time, but I finally found the last macaroni red from Samsonite era, which is super shiny plastic. So I finally restored it. I have not disassembled. I've left it assembled. Just somehow feels better that way. Anyways, the video is starting to get kind of long. I'm starting to kind of get long in the tooth, as my dad would say. So, but go out there, make the community bigger. We can definitely use more people in it. Go out there, if you're going to be a reseller, if you're going to hit the rummage sales, even if it's just a partial set for a set you don't really like, maybe go ahead and grab it, put it back together. If you don't have the pieces, you can't find that forestman with the black plume, maybe it can be reborn into another set from the era. But the thing is, keep it alive, let it grow, keep that community, keep that past alive, Whatever it is, old pew-pews or knife, pocket knife, plates, whatever it is. All right? Y'all take care. Let me know what you think. Till next time. Ciao.